You know what's wild? We spend so much time arguing about who would win in a fight, like Batman versus Superman or whatever. But 20 million years ago, the ocean didn't need our imagination. It had the real deal. Two absolute monsters, and I'm not exaggerating here, that made modern apex predators look like house pets. I'm talking about Megalodon and Livyatan. And before you roll your eyes thinking this is another one of those biggest shark ever videos, just hear me out. Because what went down between these two, it's way more interesting than just size comparisons. So Megalodon, yeah, we all know it. 60 feet long, teeth like daggers, bit force that could crush a car. But here's the thing nobody really talks about. Megalodon was kind of a one-trick pony. Seriously, it had this strategy. Hide in the deep, wait for a whale to swim overhead, then boom, vertical ambush from below. Ram into the tail or belly, one massive bite, then back off and let the prey bleed out. Efficient, absolutely. Creative, not really. Now Livyatan, this is where it gets crazy. Livyatan melvillei. And yes, they named it after Moby Dick because apparently paleontologists have a sense of humor. This thing was a sperm whale, but not like the ones we have today that just cruise around eating a squid in the dark. No, this was 57 feet of pure calculated violence. And those teeth. Okay, I need you to picture this. 14 inches, 14. That's longer than a ruler. And they weren't designed to slice like megalodons. They were designed to grab, to puncture, to hold on while you thrash around trying to escape. Nightmare fuel, honestly. Here's what keeps me up at night, though. Did they actually fight? Like, did these two ever go head-to-head? Or is this just one of those hypothetical things we make up for clicks? Well, funny thing, we found fossils of both species in the same locations, same time periods. Peru, mainly. The west coast of South America during the Miocene epoch, about 12 to 15 million years ago. Same hunting grounds, same prey, baleen whales that were, let's be honest, having a really bad time. So yeah, they definitely crossed paths, whether they fought over territory or prey or just bumped into each other and decided to throw down, we don't know for sure. But given that both of them were apex predators with zero natural enemies, I'd bet my money they didn't just politely swim past each other. Let me paint you a picture. It's early morning, sun's barely up, and there's this pod of primitive baleen whales migrating along the coast. They're nervous, staying close together because they know what's out there. And they should be nervous. Megalodon's been tracking them for hours. It's patient, methodical. It picks out a target, probably a younger whale that's lagging behind, and it starts its approach from about 200 feet down. The water's murky, visibility's terrible, so the whale has no idea what's coming. But Livyatan does, because unlike Megalodon, which relied on electroreception and smell, Livyatan had echolocation. It could see with sound, map out everything in the water around it. And it had been tracking the same pod, probably from a different angle. So Megalodon makes its move, bursts upward at something like 25 miles per hour, jaws opening wide, and I mean wide, like nearly 10 feet across. The whale sees it at the last second, tries to dive, but it's too late. Except it is too late for Megalodon too, because Livyatan, seeing this whole thing play out through echolocation, decides it's not about to let some overgrown shark steal its breakfast, and it charges. Now, I want you to think about the physics here. Livyatan weighs maybe 45 to 50 tons. Megalodon's probably closer to 50. maybe 60. They're both moving fast. When they collide, the shockwave alone probably has stunned every fish within 100 yards. Megalodon's confused. This isn't how it's supposed to go. Prey runs away, it doesn't fight back, and it definitely doesn't hit like a freight train. It tries to reorient, circle around, get to Livyatan's tail flukes. That's the playbook. Disable the tail, game over. But Livyatan's not having it. It turns, and this is where that mammalian brain makes all the difference. Sharks are smart, don't get me wrong, but they're instinct-driven. Livyatan could think, could adapt on the fly. It knew Megalodon was trying to get behind it, so it spun around, faster than something that size has any right to move. And those jaws, those massive jaws with 14-inch teeth, they clamped down on Megalodon's pectoral fin. Now Megalodon's in real trouble. That fin's crucial for the steering, for stability. Damage it badly enough, and Megalodon's just a very large, very angry, very ineffective torpedo. Megalodon thrashes, twists its whole body, manages to rake its teeth along Livyatan's side. Blood everywhere now. The water's turning into this red haze, and you know what that means. Every opportunistic predator in the area's gonna show up looking for his scraps. But here's the brutal reality. Megalodon's a fish. It breathes through gills. It needs to keep moving to push water over them. And yeah, it was probably warm-blooded to some degree, but that just meant it burned energy faster. A prolonged fight? Not ideal. Livyatan's a mammal. It needs air, sure, but it can hold its breath for an hour if it has to. And more importantly, it can think tactically. It can conserve energy, wait for openings, pick its moments. The fight probably didn't last long, maybe 5-10 minutes max, but those minutes, absolute chaos. Megalodon gets in some good hits, tears chunks out of Livyatan's blubber and muscle. But Livyatan gets its jaws around Megalodon's midsection at one point, and when those teeth sink in deep, hit ribs, maybe puncture internal organs, that's when Megalodon knows it's outmatched. One of them breaks off. My guess? Megalodon. Because for all its power, it's not stupid. This prey's too dangerous, too costly. Better to find easier food. But here's where the story gets really interesting. This wasn't a one-time thing. This was happening for millions of years. An evolutionary arms race, Megalodon getting bigger, stronger, more powerful jaws, Livyatan getting smarter, faster, better at predicting movements, and then, around 9 million years ago, Livyatan disappears, just gone from the fossil record. Megalodon keeps going for another 6 million years, but Livyatan vanishes. Why? Climate change. The oceans started cooling, ice caps expanded, whale migration routes shifted. Baleen whales evolved to be bigger, harder to kill. The whole ecosystem flipped. Livyatan was a specialist. It needed specific conditions, specific prey, specific temperatures. When those changed, it couldn't adapt fast enough. Some scientists think it evolved into modern sperm whales, traded those monster teeth for a diet of deep-sea squid. Less competition down there in the abyss. Megalodon survived longer because it was more flexible. It could hunt in different temperatures, go after different prey, but even Megalodon couldn't last forever. By about 3.6 million years ago, it was gone too. And you know what the kicker is? The descendants of Livyatan, modern sperm whales, they're still here, still diving deeper than Megalodon ever could, still using those massive brains, still being absolute units in the ocean. Great white sharks, Megalodon's distant cousins, they're still around too. Smaller, sure, but the design works. Simple, efficient, effective. So who won the battle? I don't know. Maybe they both did in different ways. Maybe neither did. Maybe the real winner was evolution itself, constantly testing, constantly adapting. What I do know is this: the deadliest battle in prehistoric oceans wasn't about a strength or size or even intelligence. It was about adaptability, about being able to change when the world changes. Megalodon and Livyatan were both perfect predators for a world that doesn't exist anymore. And that's the scary part. Perfection's temporary. Evolution never stops. The ocean's still a battlefield, still running experiments, still creating new monsters. We just don't know what they are yet. Makes you think, doesn't it? What's going to replace us when our world changes? What's already adapting right now that we haven't noticed? Anyway, that's the story. 2 titans, 1 ocean, millions of years of violence. And in the end, the only thing that survived was change itself.